Here that I like to call a moment of Torah, some guidance on how to read the text. And I want to file the next 5 minutes under the idea of Bible being literature, not journalism. It's very, very important to remember. So as I read various commentaries on the Torah portion, they're reading as if it is journalism. In fact, I saw one article that was written, "Can God be bribed?" as if we are actually watching a newspaper report of this event, instead of trying to understand that it's a piece of literature, of comedic literature, and what is the premise of the joke. So the premise of the joke is the authenticity of the prophet. So when we think of the prophet as a spokesperson for God, clearly in ancient times, this was something under dispute, whether prophets could be trusted. To put it in our terms, can the media be trusted? So people are supposed to report the truth, and we realize, well, they don't report the truth. And so our question is, how do they get it so wrong? So here we have an incident of Balak, the Moabite king, who is terrified of the Israelites. He wants them cursed, so he finds a legitimate prophet. Apparently, Bilam is a legitimate prophet. I talked at length last night, as did Rabbi Manning, on this parsha, and my talk will be up on YouTube in a couple of days. But briefly, Bilam agrees to go and say whatever God wants him to say about the Israelites. Balak hopes it will be negative. Bilam says, "I can't promise you anything because I'm a prophet." Now, the punchline of the joke happens when Bilam is on the way to do whatever God wants him to do, but an angel of God intercedes, but only Bilam's donkey can see the angel of God getting ready to slay Bilam. So we're asking ourselves, if Bilam has said that I'll only say what God says, why is the angel so angry? And of course, the joke happens because we assume the angel knows, even though you, Bilam, have said you will only say what God says to you, the angel says, you intentionally want to misunderstand God. To put it in our terms, it's intentionally biased reporting, because for one reason or another, you have a stake in telling the story a certain way. So the angel appears to him and is getting ready to kill him. And so it only makes sense if the angel, as an emissary of the divine, has been able to discern the hidden motivations of Balak. I'm sorry, of Bilam. So then Bilam, it's very clear to him, get his biases out of the way. He should only tell the truth. So when Balak builds the altars for him, Bilam proceeds to bless the people 3 different times. Now, Balak has said, I'm going to build 7 altars. So, when I read this, I can almost see an Abbott and Costello comedy sketch, or maybe Oliver and Hardy, where Hardy takes his hat off his head and he throws it on the ground and he stomps on it. He says, "Why aren't you doing what I'm telling you to do?" So King Balak is having a fit, and he says, "I told you to curse them." Bilam says, I can only say what God tells me to say." He goes, "Okay, we're going to try this again, and please get your lines right." So of course he tries again a second time, and same thing happens as before. Third time, Balak says, "Okay, listen, you don't have to say anything bad, but just don't say anything good. Okay, are we square here?" And of course, the minute Bilam opens his mouth, it's another beautiful blessing. So we have the 3 of the 7 get done. Each one is a more beautiful blessing than the other. And finally, Bilam says to Balak, "Okay, the gig is up. So here's what's going to happen." Apparently, the way that these prophets prophesied was to look at the Nechashim, which were featured in last week's Torah portion. Now, Nachash can mean divination. Nachash can mean the snake, going back to the Garden of Eden. And so apparently he was looking at the Nechashim to receive his oracle. And he says, "I'm not looking at the Nechashim anymore. I'm not looking at the source of sorcery, a source of lies." If we go back to the Garden of Eden, it says, Bilam says, "I'm turning to the wilderness. I'm going to look at the wilderness and I will say what I see. And of course, it's one of the most beautiful blessings about the people of Israel. So, can the Bible joke? Can the Bible be ironic? Can the Bible have what it comes even close to slapstick comedy? Yes, while delivering a deeper message, which is a very, very scathing critique of prophecy. So we're going to file this under a little bit of how to study Torah, and I want to go to the deeper issues that this Torah portion raises.